From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour. Court fixes Wednesday to rule on FG's suit against ASUU as protesting students block Lagos Airport Road. Court sentences Evans to 78 years imprisonment. NDLEA seizes biggest cocaine consignment in Lagos warehouse. Away from Nigeria, UK lets Queen Elizabeth II to rest after state funeral. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust Television. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining us. Beginning with ASUU, the National Industrial Court has adjourned the interlocutory injunction ruling on the ongoing hearing of the government challenging the ongoing strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, to 21st September. Noel Samson, who was at the court, tells us more.
Going by the current development, prayers of millions of Nigerians concerning the ongoing industrial action by ASUU will soon be answered. This was made known by the council to Going by the current development, prayers of millions of Nigerians concerning the ongoing industrial action by ASUU will soon be answered. This was made known by the council to the federal government, where he stated the government will want the strike called off so that the students and lecturers can return back to school while court proceedings continue.
As you know, when the case came up on Friday, last Friday, the Honorable Court made an order adjourning the hearing of the application by the federal government for an interlocutory injunction seeking to restrain the Academic Staff Union of Universities from continuing with the strike pending the hearing and determination of the referral made by the Honorable Minister of Labour and Employment. When the matter came up this morning, we informed the court that we are ready to go on with the application, the business of the day. However, the learned counsel for the ASUU I said he had filed another application for a preliminary objection, which was served on us right in court at about 11 a.m. And we told the court that application was not ripe for hearing. What was ripe for hearing is the application for interlocutory injunction, and we argued along those lines, and the Honorable Court agreed with us.
The counsel to ASUU, Femi Falana, who was also optimistic that the industrial action will come to an end, he said the readiness of President Muhammadu Buhari to meet with stakeholders and the invitation of ASUU by the lawmakers concerning the matter can be seen in a positive light.
There are moves by the government to continue to explore an amicable resolution of this matter in the interest of the nation and in the interest of our children, as well as the lecturers who are affected by the strike. The leadership of the House of Representatives has invited the ASUU and other stakeholders to an urgent meeting in the National Assembly tomorrow. If the government will at least consider the interests of the students and the national interest. And we hope that the intervention of the House of Reps tomorrow will go a long way to addressing the issues that are still left.
It is hoped that amicable solution will be reached and the 7-month strike will be a history. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has blocked roads leading to the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, causing vehicular gridlock. The mass action is in continuation of their protest against the ongoing industrial action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. Students who defied the heavy downpour caused gridlock on the road leading to the airport, leaving many travelers stranded. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Police Command, RRS operatives, Lagos Airport Police Command and other security agencies were on ground to avert breakdown of law and order. And on political matters, a federal high court in Abuja on Monday dismissed a suit filed by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, challenging the legality of the substitution of placeholders by the All Progressives Congress, APC, and Labour Party with substantive presidential running mates. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that the PDP had asked the court to disqualify the presidential candidate of the two parties on that ground.
The People's Democratic Party had approached the court to determine whether the respondents, APC and Labour Party, and their respective presidential candidates contravened provisions of the Electoral Act by substituting their initial placeholders. While APC had Ibrahim Masari as placeholder, Doyin Okupe served as Labour Party placeholder before his replacement with Yusuf Datti, and Kashim Shettima replaced Masari in the APC. But in their submissions before Justice Donatus Okoronwo, defense counsels raised the issues of jurisdiction of the court to entertain the suit on the grounds that it is a pre-election matter which the plaintiff lacks locus to institute.
There is an evidence of a voluntary withdrawal of these candidates. So the court decided to align with our argument that the decision to withdraw is really the right thing to order. The court decided that the plaintiff lacks the local standard to constitute this action. And of course, the court didn't go into the merit of the case. The court held that it lacks jurisdiction to entertain this matter.
In his judgment, Justice Donatus Okoronwo held that the court lacks jurisdiction to grant the reliefs sought by the applicants, as he upheld the respondent's argument that the plaintiff actually lacked the locus to institute the case. The trial judge then dismissed the case for want of jurisdiction and a lack of locus standi on the part of the People's Democratic Party to institute the case. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
As the nation counts down to the commencement of electioneering campaign, the Kaduna State Council of Imams and Ulama says that it has no preferred candidate in the 2023 election in the state. The council, at a press briefing in Kaduna, told journalists that they will only go for the candidate who will promote peace and progress in the state. Bello Musa has more.
The council says the briefing is to draw attention of its members on their role as heir to the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and also remain vigilant as the Kaduna state and the country is about to witness another campaign period. In view of this, the council said that it has no preferred candidate in the forthcoming election in the state.
For long, we have never had any candidate of our own choice. Ours is to allow the terrain. Then we normally sit down with the aspirants, we have discussion with them, and then whichever one that is going to bring peace and progress to Kaduna State is mostly our candidate.
It also admonished members to be wary of certain politicians who want to cause disunity among members of the council.
On this premise, the council is calling on all members to resist and desist any temptation by individual politicians or groups whose sole aim is to bring discomfort and ill feelings among members by way of disuniting and misinforming the members. Such adherents resort to getting members, resort to settling members with peanuts in order to win their sympathy, the severity of which is not of their own concern.
The Council of Imams maintains that it is already planning an agenda towards 2023 election and will soon make its position public in the state. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo, sitting at the Ikeja Special Offences Court on Monday, convicted kidnap kingpin Chukwudumeme Omomadike, a.k.a. Evans, and his accomplice Victor Aduba, a dismissed soldier, of criminal conspiracy, kidnapping, and illegal possession of firearms. Evans is standing a joint trial with co-defendant Victor Aduba for 4 criminal counts of criminal conspiracy, kidnapping, and of Silvanus Ohanohu Afia in 2004 in Lagos taking ransom and unlawful possession of firearms. In a judgment that lasted for about an hour, the court sentenced Evans to a total of 52 years and the co-defendant got 26 years jail term. The breakdown shows that Evans got 5 years for criminal conspiracy, 21 years for kidnapping and ransom, and another 21 years for illegal possession of firearms, and another 5 years, adding up to 52 years. On his part, Victor Aduba got 5 years for conspiracy and 21 years for kidnapping and ransom, adding up to 26 years.
Criminal jurisprudence is that you have two other courts ahead of this one, the Appeal Court and the Supreme Court. We are going to try the legal propriety otherwise of the judgment of today. To me, I think Appeal Court may have a different view on the judgment.
Okay, so you are not actually satisfied with this final judgment?
Until I get to Supreme Court, I will not be satisfied. This is an incident that took place in 2014.
Yes, sir.
It was arrested in 2017. And you are saying there's no need for ID parade, identification parade. 70% of this matter results around the identification parade, which was not done. We see what the Appeal Court will say about it. It's a test case. It's a trial case. Let us take it upstairs and see what they're going to say about it. No need to worry. There's no worry about it. You have two courts to go ahead. They have a different opinion. You see, this is somebody that who said, I never gave him money. No close contact. The actual man that said he delivered the money, they didn't bring him as a witness in this case. And we raised it there. The man that took the money to them, they didn't provide him as a witness. Who saw them? Who said he saw them one by one? It's not done that. Well, the court has done their best. We try it upstairs.
Thank you very much, sir.
Now, in what appears to be the biggest singular cocaine seizure in the history of Nigeria's premier anti-narcotic agency, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have busted a major warehouse in a secluded estate in Ikorodu area of Lagos, where 1.8 tons, an equivalent of 1,855 kilograms of the illicit drug worth nearly $3 million were seized. At least 4 drug barons, including a Jamaican and the warehouse manager, have been arrested in the well-coordinated and intelligence-led operation that lasted 2 days across different locations in Lagos State. A statement by the Director, Media and Advocacy of the agency, Femi Babafemi, listed the kingpins of the cocaine cartel in custody to include Soji Jibril, 69, from Oyo State, Emmanuel Chukwu, 65, from Anambra State, Wasiu Akinade, 53, from Oyo State, Sunday Oguntelure, from Ondo State, and Kelvin Smith, 42, a native of Kingston, Jamaica. According to Babafemi, preliminary investigation reveals that the Class A drugs were housed in the residential estate from where the cartel was trying to sell them to buyers in Europe, Asia, and other parts of the world. Now, earlier, I spoke with the Director, Media and Advocacy of the NDLEA, Femi Babafemi.
Yeah, actually, this is the largest singular seizure in the history of the agency. And I can say probably the largest ever seized cocaine seizure anywhere in Africa. Talking of 1.8 tons. That is huge. Something with a street value of over $278 million. And if you put that on the street, probably that will be giving you, more than 194 billion naira. That is huge. And for us, it's something we've been working on. This particular cartel, it's a member of an international syndicate that the agency has been trailing since 2018. But here we are. We're glad we've been able to break that network. And according to what the chairman of the agency himself, General Marwa, said this evening in the statement we released, he said, apart from this issue being historical, it's also a strong blow to the drug cartel operating in Nigeria, because it is a sign that they are going to be going down one after the other if they don't back out of this criminal trade. So for us, it's really, really, really a big and a major breakthrough in the fight against illicit drugs in Nigeria.
All right. Well, this is certainly not the job of a small cartel. Can you give us an idea of the size, of this cartel? What do we know so far about, the size of the network?
Yeah, like I said, this is a network that spreads across countries, across continents. Starting from the origin of this drug in South America up to some parts of Africa, where some members of the syndicate are operating from. I told you that this particular syndicate has been under the watch of the NDLA, and we're glad that we have our international partners, especially the United States of America's Department of Drug Enforcement Administration, that's DEA, which has actually worked extensively well with us on this particular cartel. And they work with us, and we're also glad. We also want to appreciate the military that had to stand by us, where we had to physically be at the warehouse to provide some backup for us. That is the Nigerian Army. So it's quite a lot of partnership, and we're glad that both locally and internationally we got the support, the partnership we needed, and to be able to get to this point.
All right, is there any particular reason why Nigeria now seems to be a drug trafficking route, in recent times?
Yeah, you will notice that because one, our population is an attraction. Two, because of our geographical location, being a giant in Africa, connected or linked to a lot of other African countries, where, in addition to Europe, that is European countries and Asian countries, that we do legitimate businesses with. All of these things are packaged under the guise of legitimate businesses when they are shipping them out in bits. So that it's a major attraction, because here we are a very enterprising people and involved in legitimate businesses. So let's not miss that. Let's emphasize that. So they capitalize on this to mix this their criminal trade, to throw this their criminal trade in the mix, and that's why we're trying to really separate, get them off our assistance in this country.
All right, thank you so much, Director, Media and Advocacy of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Femi Babafemi. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour.
I appreciate for having me. Thank you.
Now, moving on security matters, a market security guard, Suleiman Mohammed, has been killed in Kasuaradere Market, a section of Jos ultra-modern market, in the early hours of Saturday in Jos North local government area of Plateau State. Trust TV's Adu Musa gathered that late Suleiman, whose corpse was discovered on Sunday morning, was murdered in cold blood by yet-to-be-identified culprits. The report.
According to the management of the market, the security guard was killed around midnight at his workplace, adding that his corpse was found within the vicinity of the market. Chairman of the market, Jamilu Kabiru, while speaking to Trust TV, described the deceased as a brave and trusted person who worked for over 15 years, adding that his demise was a great loss to the market.
An unfortunate incident happened in my market last 2 days. Our security man, one of the most powerful and one of the most trusted security, we call him One Way. We find him early in the morning dead. I was called by one of my colleagues to come and see his dead body. Definitely, it's a very, very sad news.
The wife of the deceased, Rabi'atu Haruna, while narrating her last encounter with her husband, said the incident came as a surprise, as her husband had never complained of any altercation with anyone.
It was a painful death, but there is nothing I could do. I have forgiven my husband. If he had done anything wrong to me, we are praying Allah to forgive him too. May the paradise be his last abode. For those that killed him, if they are ready to repent, so be it. If they are not, may Allah take them away from us.
The spokesperson of the Plateau State Police Command, Alabo Alfred, while confirming the incident, said 7 suspects had been arrested and are being questioned, adding that investigation into the matter had begun.
Raced to the scene and moved the body to Plateau State Specialist Hospital, where the doctor confirmed him there. The corpse have since been released to the family for burial according to Islamic rite. But as I speak to you right now, the officers and men of C Division have swung into action, and 7 persons have already been arrested, and they are undergoing serious questioning from our police detectives at C Division.
The management of the market and the deceased family are hopeful that the perpetrators of the dastardly act brought to book after investigations are concluded. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
5 persons, including 4 children between the ages of 1 and 5, have been reportedly killed in Fapo village in Lapai local government area of Niger State. The attackers, who stormed the village between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. on Monday, shot the 4 children who were sleeping. Sources within the village said that a man who was also shot during the attack died on Monday morning, while 16 persons were kidnapped. Residents who believed the attack was a reprisal said that the bandits had recently written to the neighboring community of Efugwari Nasarawa of their plan to attack them, saying that the reprisal was due to the recent onslaught against them by the vigilantes. The Niger State Police Command's Public Relations Officer, Wasiu Abiodun, who confirmed the attack, said that a police tactical team has been drafted to the area to rescue the abducted villagers. The Chinese Business Community Association of Nigeria, under the leadership of Wakilin Mutanen China, Kano Mike Zhang, has condemned the killing of Kulthum Buhari allegedly by a Chinese national, Geng Quarong. In a statement signed on behalf of the Wakili by his personal assistant, Guang Li, Zhang said that the action is totally condemnable and a criminal act that should be allowed to be professionally handled by relevant security agencies. According to the statement, the Chinese community in Kano is fully in support of the law taking its proper course, while appreciating the hospitality extended to the members of the Chinese community in Kano, adding that they will continue to be law-abiding, friendly, and contribute to the development of Kano, while condoling with the family of the deceased. Kulthum Sani Buhari, the Chinese national, stabbed his lover, a 23-year-old, to death at Jambulo Quarters, Kumboto local government area of Kano. The sector commander, Federal Road Safety Corps in Cross River, Maikano Hassan, has confirmed a lone accident in which a middle-aged woman died in Calabar on Sunday. Hassan, who said that the incident was caused by overspeeding on the Murtala Muhammad Road, saw the Toyota Highlander the woman was driving skid off the road into a ditch by the highway. According to him, though the woman was immediately rushed to a nearby hospital, she was pronounced dead minutes later due to injuries sustained from the incident. It was gathered that the woman was pursuing her husband, who was alleged to be with a lady he was having extramarital affairs with in his car when she lost control of her vehicle. The Islamic Development Bank, ISDB, an international financial institution fostering economic development and social progress of member countries and Muslim communities, is seeking media partnership to help project the activities of the institution in Nigeria. This formed part of the deliberations during a courtesy visit to Media Trust Group, which it has identified as a reliable partner that will amplify its operations in the country. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu has more.
Executives from the Islamic Development Bank acknowledged the institution's desire for a better media representation and collaboration, especially in Nigeria, being a member country. The financial institution says it focuses on financing humanitarian activities and special initiatives in 11 regional hubs, totaling 57 member countries across the world with particular interest in finance, education, health services, energy, transportation, water and urban sanitation, among others.
See how we can better cooperate, how we can better work together and have partnership, long partnership, to make sure that what is being done in the bank, whether it is in Nigeria or in other member countries, it is, what do you call it, projected here, and people know better what the Islamic Development Bank stands for.
We need to showcase people that we are contributor to the socio-economic status. We are trying to give them opportunity for a better chance to utilize the resources.
In granting financial access to basic needs, the ISDB says energy is one major sector it hopes to harness in rural areas.
Most of our member countries are underdeveloped, and when we talk about Nigeria, when we talk about energy, it's not just about the big energy projects. Sometimes we talk about the basic electricity for the some of the villages of the places they are out of energy.
Admitting its strong presence in the Muslim communities of the country, representatives of Media Trust Group say it's open to collaboration with the bank in order to project the ideals of the institution through a mutually beneficial partnership.
No media house that covers the north of Nigeria like us, because, and northern Nigeria is the dominant part of the Muslim community of Nigeria, so which means it's an important segment of the country that should know what Islamic Development Bank is doing. We have a program which though is commercial, which we call CCC, co-created content. So it's something that yourselves and ourselves will sit down, create the content.
The ISDB, which works in accordance with the principles of Sharia, however, applies the needs assessment of member countries and non-Muslim communities to further drive its socio-economic development objectives. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching the news hour on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at longing for return of railway transportation. Details of this and more after the break.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Welcome back. You are watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Here is a reminder of our top stories. Court fixes Wednesday to rule on FG suit against ASU as protesting students block Lagos Airport Road. Plus, court sentences Evans to 78 years imprisonment. Elsewhere, Imo State House of Assembly on Monday in Owerri elected its fourth speaker in 4 years. The new speaker, Emeka Nduka, replaced Kennedy Ibe, who resigned from the position earlier. Ibe was sworn in as speaker on November 8, 2021, following the impeachment of Paul Emezim for forgery and high-handedness. The fourth speaker, Nduka, was elected on Monday at a closed-door special sitting presided over by the Deputy Speaker, Amarachi Nwanyao, who called for nominations after reading Ibe's letter of resignation. The majority leader, Kanayo Onyemechi, nominated Nduka, a nomination seconded by Dr. Uju Nwudiwe. No reason was given for Ibe's resignation. The Federal High Court in Jalingo, presided over by Justice Simon Omobeda, has affirmed Colonel Abu Kefas retired as the legitimate governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Taraba State. The court, while dismissing the suit filed by Jerome Nyame, a contestant in the primary election seeking the disqualification of Kefas, declared Nyame's case as lacking in merit. The plaintiff had prayed that the court to restrain the PDP candidate from contesting the 2023 gubernatorial poll on the party's platform. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the PDP, Kabiru Bappa, who joined Kefas in the suit as the first, third and fourth defendants respectively, stood behind the PDP flag bearer, backing up their evidence with various exhibits. Delivering judgment on Monday, Justice Simon Akpa Mobeda dismissed all the cases on the grounds that the plaintiffs have failed to prove their allegations. Counsel to the PDP candidate, Musa Tende, hailed the judgment of the High Court and called on the other candidates to sheath their swords. Now, ahead of commencement of the election campaign, a group called Arewa Solidarity Group convened an interfaith special prayers for security and peace to reign throughout the period. According to the group, the 2023 election is important to all Nigerians, hence the need to embark on this prayer for the successful polls.
It is an interfaith prayer where Muslims and Christians gathered to pray for the nation and the leaders.
Everlasting Father, we begin to ask that you shall restore peace into this country in the mighty name of Jesus.
The faithfuls of the two religions believe that with prayers, insecurity and other vices bedeviling Nigeria will be a thing of the past.
In the present situation of this country, you can see the high rate of insecurity. There is high rate of poverty. That is why we felt and we deemed it fit to come and pray together with the Muslims and ask for forgiveness of sins so that God will heal our country, Nigeria.
If you have this understanding between Christian and the Muslim, there will be a peace in the state. There will be a peace in the country. So because all what we found ourselves into this now in this country, it's because of the ethnic and tribalism and religious that create all these things. So if we can scrape it all away and we come together, we have a one thinking and one decision between Muslim and the Christian, we will have a peace in the country.
Other participants at the prayer session also seek divine intervention for the peaceful conduct of the 2023 elections.
We pray and we make our country to be settled down and make all this insecurity and this election that is coming now. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us power to make it successful.
Yeah, we are here today to pray to Allah, and by the grace of Allah, God will help us.
The electorate are admonished to shun any form of violence during campaigns. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The Management of Police Service Commission has concluded arrangements to interface with the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, over its ongoing recruitment process of police constables into the force. It was learned that the new chairman will also meet with the Minister of Police Affairs, Muhammad Dingyadi, with a view to resolving a wide range of issues affecting the Commission and the police force. According to a commissioner in the PSC, apart from the ongoing recruitment exercise, the meeting will center on the disciplinary actions against erring officers, some officers' complaints about promotion in the force, the Commission's staff welfare, among others. The spokesman of the Commission, Ikechukwu Ani, who confirmed the development, noted that the acting chairman of the PSC, Justice Ogumbi, also addressed staff of the Commission on Monday on the development. Now, the Nigeria Meteorological Agency has predicted 3 days of thunder and cloudy weather conditions beginning from Monday. It predicted morning thunderstorms over parts of the northern states except in Sokoto and Kebbi states where cloudy conditions are likely. The agency predicted cloudy atmosphere over the northern region on Tuesday, with chances of morning thunderstorms over parts of Sokoto, Kebbi, Adamawa, and Taraba states. According to it, thunderstorms are anticipated over parts of Sokoto, Zamfara, Borno, Bauchi, Kaduna, and Adamawa states. Later on Tuesday, according to NIMET, cloudy atmosphere is anticipated over the northern region with chances of thunderstorms over parts of Adamawa, Bauchi, Jigawa, Kaduna, and Taraba states during the morning hours. At least 29 more people have lost their lives to flood-related incidents in Jigawa as waters continue to submerge communities in various parts of the state. This brings to 92 the death toll from such circumstances, police authorities in the northwestern state have said. The public relations officer of the police command in Jigawa, Lawal Shisu, confirmed the figures to newsmen on Sunday. According to him, the deaths occurred mostly as a result of drowning, canoe mishaps, thunderstorms, and building collapses. Floods have continued to wreak havoc in Jigawa as more communities and farmlands are submerged in many parts of the state. The Secretariat area of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway was on Monday flooded, worsening the existing traffic on the expressway in Lagos. The gridlock spanned the flooded Secretariat area to the Long Bridge area of the expressway. Motorists who struggled to wade through the flood decried at the state of the road. The road, which is currently being reconstructed, has been narrowed for repairs leading to the gridlock. On its website, the contractor claims that the reconstruction will take 30 months and will include 10 pedestrian bridges and 2 flyovers, as well as expansion of the road. A 2-story building collapsed in Bukuru, Jos South local government area of Plateau State. Reports say that efforts are underway by men of fire service, Red Cross, and State Emergency Management Agency trying to evacuate the debris and rescue life. Speaking to Trust TV, the head of the Fire Service Plateau State and the owner of the collapsed building, Beatrice Moses Pam, gave an update on the incident.
The area, the land is a swampy area, and to the best of my knowledge, it contributed to the collapse of the building. Whoever wants to build a house should also visit the fire service in order to vet the building plan and also monitor the building as the building progresses. And when once the building has been constructed, they should also allow fire service to carry out what we call fire risk assessment.
I need the government assistance. Because for me now to raise that kind of amount to start any business now, I didn't have any source. I don't have any source. I don't know anywhere I can start. Even to eat now, I don't know where I can even get what I can even feed my family.
The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has restrained all parties in the suit pertaining to the Ikoyi Cancer Treatment Center from demolition, destroying or tampering with the building located at number 16 Alexander Road, Ikoyi, Lagos, pending the determination of all the cases pending in court over the land. Justice Daniel Osiago granted the order after hearing arguments from the applicant's counsel and human rights activist Ebun Oluadeborua. Justice Osiago also granted an order transferring the case to the High Court of Lagos State for it to be consolidated with the other pending cases on the subject matter. The applicant, Kings County Property Development Company, and its directors, Hamid Kasumu and Abdul Jamal Kasumu, had approached the Federal High Court in Lagos with an application for an order of injunction to restrain all parties from arresting or detaining the directors and also from taking any steps that may jeopardize or compromise the buildings housing the Cancer Treatment Center from demolition, destroying or taking over the property. The suit was filed when some unknown persons stormed the property with the aim of demolishing it without following due process, prompting the company to report their nefarious activities to the police authorities, which eventually led to the filing of the cases before the Federal High Court. Despite the clear dangers associated with smoking, quite a lot of people cutting across all ages indulge in the habit. Some smokers have been smoking for years since they were quite young and have a lot of years of experience feeding the habit, while others have just been encouraged to take up the smoker's lifestyle unaware of how much of an impact it will have on their lives. Jimmy Azande looks at the huge burden associated with the smoking habit.
A large percentage of Benue residents still smoke. Alarmingly, many of the residents who have taken on the habit are young, and it will seem that many of them have no intention of dropping the habit.
Smoking started from inside kitchen. Our mother they smoke from inside kitchen. So meanwhile, women with that side they smoke. So smoke no be bad thing. The problem we will get for this street, we say and work no day. If work day, we dey smoke for section. Everybody they smoke. So smoke is good. And they smoke for USA, smoke for Canada, smoke for Jamaica, smoke for Anambra. Even for Benue State here, we see they smoke.
I just feel when ten stop, I take it and go.
They make me like say so many times I dey think about of life, something like that. My father, my mother, so many my friends. But me, my father, they do the thing I they think. How they see people for life.
Ironically, many of the smokers are aware of the financial burden that comes with the habit and are even aware of the consequences or health implications. But these smokers say there is no cause to worry.
Health implication for smoke, we say, my brother, make you chop belly food before you smoke. No carry hungry, they smoke. If you carry hungry, they smoke, you go die very young. Before you smoke cigarette, make sure you don't chop akpu with or rice soup or rice and beans, you know, this kind of 700 naira plate, you know, with small chicken hand, you know, before you go smoke.
While some smokers are already starting to experience some discomfort in their bodies, they cannot stop because they are already addicted to it.
At times I feel my liver, my lungs are too heavy. I can't move fast. So I take this soda water to calm me down.
Today, just, good. Good.
Health experts said the consequences of smoking are grievous and addiction can be controlled to save lives.
Cancer of the liver, it causes a stroke, it causes diabetes, it causes damage to the body. And so it's true that when these organs are being damaged, you are liable to die young. You cannot live long. It's not good to be smoking. It's not food. You can't do without it. And those of you that have been smoking, I want to advise you to try and quit from it because it is life-threatening.
There's a template on packs of cigarettes that warns that smokers are liable to die young. But in spite of the warnings and the health implications, the number of smokers of cigarettes and other substances is alarming.
Federal government has been called upon to revive the railway services in Maiduguri to boost economic development and affordable means of transportation within and across the northeastern part of the country. Bitrus Kurutsi reports that the railway station in Maiduguri stopped operation in 2009 due to conflict in the northeast. The report.
This looks like a ghost house. Dust, debris, and spider webs clog the interior of the abandoned train coaches. The spacious yard where people used to gather with their luggage and merchandise now turned into a farmland. The Maiduguri train station was operating in the 60s until it was abandoned in 2009, with only few staff reporting to duty daily. During its functional days, Abaganaram community was a beehive of economic activities, and it was one of the cheapest, dependable, and well-organized mode of transportation across the country. Ali Usman, recalling his youth days when he boarded the train, said insurgency was responsible for the shutdown. I was young when I first entered a train, but I can't remember the exact year, but I traveled to Gombe State. I went to complete an agreement with a friend there, and at that time, the train transport fare is affordable and you travel to anywhere. But now that it's not working, lots of people are suffering. Our plea is, if the government can fix it, we will be happy, because the shutdown affected small businesses.
What started it well is the change of government, and where I cannot say why the downfall of the road. I cannot. During the wars, during Boko Haram, that this area close from here to Gombe Gavada, no train.
We expect that the federal government will revive the railway station for us, like some of the children haven't seen a train before, and it will pave way for import of goods from other states, which also make things easy for us. This can create job opportunities for youth. The cattle market, popularly known as Kasuan Shanu, experienced huge patronage in the 90s, where cattle dealers traveling by rail with huge luggage, merchandise, and products without fear made the city a principal trading hub for northeastern Nigeria. Back then, we load like 30 wagons of cattle weekly, sometimes thrice in a week. We also enjoy business those periods. And even the train workers make profit from us. Those days we export cattle to Umuahia, Port Harcourt and Enugu. We were sending to Lagos State, but later it cut off, and everything too has to stop for a very long time. The railway cuts beside Maiduguri flour mills straight through the heart of the city and cross behind Bulunkutu area and exits at Duwari. The residents said the impact this mode of transportation had days past was huge on the economic growth of the area. They said the Duwari endpoint is inaccessible because it is believed that Boko Haram terrorists still control the territory. Although federal government had already commenced reconstruction of the railway lines, it's yet to be completed. It is believed that the work will span from Port Harcourt via Aba, Enugu, Makurdi, Plateau, Bauchi, Yobe, and down to Maiduguri. Observers said although the delay has been due to the threat of insurgency and vandalism, when completed, it will change the economic landscape of the Northeast.
Now, for more on business updates, let's now join Chamong Dabeng.
The Federal High Court in Abuja has declared as unlawful the clause in the Finance Act 2021 allowing the Minister of Finance to create another account into which money can be paid into. Additionally, the court declared that the minister is not permitted to issue regulations governing the division and distribution of unpaid stamp duty and electronic money transfer levies that were collected between 2015 and 2019. In his decision on the matter brought before him by the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RMAFC, contesting various revisions to the Finance Act 2021. Justice Taiwo of the Federal High Court, Abuja, granted the Commission all of its requests. According to Justice Taiwo, Section 4, Subsection 2 of the Finance Act, control and management, as it appears in the Finance Act 2021, is invalid, unconstitutional, null and void insofar as it purports to give the Minister of Finance the authority to establish accounts for the purpose of transferring money owed to the Federation account under any name, including relevant special purpose account. Telecom service provider MTN Nigeria on Sunday in Lagos launched the 5G network with plans to expand to 6 more cities, namely Abuja, Port Harcourt, Ibadan, Kano, Owerri, and Maiduguri. With this, Nigeria joined South Africa and Kenya as the third African nation to use the technology. The Lagos 5G commercial debut followed the city's 5G pilot launch as required by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, the industry regulator for the telecom sector. In its half-year 2022 report, MTN stated that it has set up 127 5G sites in advance of the launch of its 5G network. The technology is anticipated to be implemented gradually with complete national adoption anticipated by 2025. Nigeria's foreign reserves fell to their lowest point in 3 months after the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, paid some of the detained funds from a foreign airline a few days ago. On August 26, 2022, the CBN released $265 million of the $650 million in stranded funds. Data from the CBN shows that the foreign exchange reserves, which provide the central bank with the means to protect the naira, decreased from 38.96 billion on August 26, 2022, to 38.69 billion as of September 14, 2022. The country's foreign exchange reserves have decreased from $40.5 billion at the beginning of the year by $1.81 billion this year. That's all for Business News. I am Chamun Dabeng.
Thank you, Chamung Dabeng. Now, away from Nigeria, Queen Elizabeth II has been laid to rest after a state funeral attended by world leaders and a final journey through the streets of London. Monday's funeral comes 11 days after the longest-serving monarch in British history died, aged 96, at Balmoral Castle in Scotland on September 8th. Thousands of people lined the streets surrounding Westminster Abbey and Buckingham Palace to witness the passage of the Queen's casket from Westminster Hall to the church and eventually to Windsor Castle, where she was laid to rest alongside her late husband, Prince Philip, and her father, King George VI. Millions watched the funeral on television at home after a public holiday was declared to mark the passing of the Queen. On Monday, Westminster Abbey's tenor bell tolled 96 times at 1-minute intervals, one for every year of her life, stopping before the service started at 10 o'clock GMT to mark the only monarch most Britons have ever known. We'll now take a look at sports updates put together by Adeni Ajishafe.
Two adjustments have been made in the Super Eagles roster ahead of upcoming friendly against Algeria at the 40,000 Stade Olympique in Oran on Tuesday, 27 September. Sporting Charleroi Loni Valentin Osoriwanfo have been handed a call-up as a replacement for Queen's Park Rangers defender Leon Balogun due to injury. The former Galatasaray central defender was earlier placed on standby, has now been promoted to the main list. Emmanuel Dennis has also replaced Henry Onyekuru, who suffered an injury during the first half of Adana Demirspor's 3-0 win at Antalyaspor on Saturday. All invited players have been instructed to report for international duty in the city of Constantine on Monday, 19 September 2022. Nigerian shot put star Chukwuebuka Enekwechi has been ranked among the best athletes by World Athletics. Enekwechi, the reigning African champion in shot put, is ranked 14th in the world with an accumulated score of 1,293 points. The 2018 Commonwealth Games silver medalist is the only African athlete among the top 20 rankings and is distantly followed by Muhammad Hamza from Egypt, ranked 24th with a score of 1,227 points. Meanwhile, reigning Nigerian 100-meter sprinter Favour Ashe tops the list of 4 Nigerian sprinters that made the top 100 ranking list as the 26th best 100-meter runner. 3 other Nigerians listed in the ranking are Raymond Ekebuo, 31st, Michelle Richard Shekiri, 61st, and Alaba Akintola, 64th. Nigerian record holder in 400-meter hurdles Nathaniel Ezekiel and javelin star Nnamdi Chinecherem Prosper also made it to the top 100 list of ranked athletes in their respective event. The ranking is based on average score over a certain number of competitions in a defined period of time. That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
And that wraps up the news on Trust Television. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube. I am Ayuba Ile. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.